What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me, but I just got home off of an early morning flight, right? First thing through the door, I want to see my family. I love my family. You know, I'm a family man. I'm an advocate for families, right? Second thing, I got to get that hot shower because I got to throw the threads on. The threads make me feel like $1,000,000, but the third thing through my mind and all throughout the trip is that I got to have that Teej pack. Teej makes my life uncomplicated. It's uncomplicated skincare for men. The first way that I started specifically was their level 1 system. It's a daily face wash to get rid of the dirt and grime on your skin. 2 times per week exfoliating scrub to get rid of the dead skin cells. An AM moisturizer with SPF 20 because you should always be protecting your skin from the sun. And a PM moisturizer to help your skin stay hydrated and healthy throughout the night. Here's the thing. My favorite part about Teej Hanley is that every box comes with an instruction card that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. They really making the process of achieving and maintaining amazing skin for men uncomplicated. In addition to amazing skin, members of Teej Hanley get tons of benefits, including at least 20% off the retail price, the ability to customize your box, exclusive monthly deals, you can pause and cancel at any time, and you get free shipping. And because Teej Hanley is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers an amazing deal, right? Just click the first link in the description and you get 30% off your first box, plus a free gift. It's an amazing deal. You got to get started today. You're not out here trying to look like a Dusty. And if you travel as much as I do, which I'm sure most people don't, but you know me, I'm pushing my bag chasers in order to be in the top 5%, top 10%, top 1%. We got to make our lives uncomplicated, and Teej Hanley is no better product. You got to look good. You got to smell good. And you can't be looking like a Dusty. Make sure you get started today. Click the link in the description. Get that Teej pack. Feel the Teej, my friends. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning in to another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I am your host, Anton Daniels, and I hope that everything that's happening in your life is absolutely awesome. I'm excited to be before you today, and so we're going to get it up. What's up, bag chasers? What's up, people? What's up, friends and family? What up? I see everybody in the chat getting it popping. Let's see what we got in here. You said you love my specs. I love you too. You love my specs. I love you too. MS Best said it's new. It's new rules. It's absolutely, positively going to be new rules. Just in general. In our neighborhoods, in our lives, what it is that we're setting as the culture going forward, it's absolutely got to be no rules. What up, friends and family? First and foremost, let me acknowledge and shout out all of the people that supported me on other platforms, including my dog, Mike That Dude. I appreciate you. On Cash App, thank you, Mike That Dude. Also, the realest. If you're a Detroit player, you know who that is. Shout out to the realest. Let me make sure that that's right. Let me make sure that all of my connections is good. Shout out to the realest. I appreciate you with the 9-ball. And everybody that continues to contribute over to the platform. Shout out to my people over there. Yeah, somebody said the Forex $300 million fraud. Man, see, that's how I don't get involved in the stuff that's not traditional. I don't like participating in stuff that's new and, unconventional and all of that other type. I need to see you suffer. And you go through it and you figure it out, and then we going to come back and we going to refine it and we going to make sure we get it popping. Don't worry about it. We going to get there. Shout out to my dog P. Shank with the early Cash App or the early Super Chat. Says, good morning, Anton. Have an awesome day. I know I will. Shout out to my dog P. Shank over there with the 2-ball. I appreciate you. I don't ask for anything. I'm not requiring for you guys to give anything. I just love and acknowledge the fact that you guys like to support the show. And so as a result, I'm always going to read every single super chat every single Cash App, every time somebody contributes over to the platform, I have to acknowledge you. And so I thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you for continuing to support me. It does not go unnoticed. I don't care if it's $1. I don't care if it's $500. I'm always going to be making sure that I acknowledge and I recognize everybody that contributes over to the platform, because you don't have to do it. And so it's important for us to really, really pay attention to the family. Let's go ahead and get the housekeeping out of the way. And then I got a question for y'all. Make sure to you get that Teej Hanley. If you have not gotten your Teej pack, Teej is the sponsor of these live streams. And they make sure that they take care of us over here on the Millionaire Morning Show and the Anton Daniels channel. I'm not going to lie to you. As one of the most transparent content creators in the world. I'm not going to lie to you. Teej said, listen, we like what you're doing. We likes you. We wants you. And you can do this the easy way or the hard way. I said, we're going to do it the easy way, Teej. Shout out to my dog, Fleece Johnson. Teej takes care of us. And so it is a phenomenal product. I am never going to recognize or advise you guys to ever use anything that's not good for you. And so the link to the Teej pack is in the description. Ladies, get it for your men. Fellas, don't wait for your ladies to be able to get it for you. It's a great product. And the ladies can use it too. Also, on top of that, make sure you tap into the Patreon, the Bag Chasers. We running it up. You don't want to be one of the people that miss out. You really don't. And make sure that you tap into the Discord. The link to the Discord is linked in any of the most recent videos inside of the Patreon. You don't want to miss out. It's still the beginning of the month. It's only the 6th, Wednesday, September 6th, 2023, year of our Lord. We still running it up. And so make sure you get that Teej pack, and then make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat if you want to link up with me in October. If you want to be a part of my upcoming live stream, I got a video, 2 videos that I'm dropping this week. And we're going to be meeting up to do a live stream where I'm going to be funding y'all businesses in late November. All right. So I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you to everybody that supported me on multiple different platforms. If you can hit a like for the algorithm, also make sure you subscribing to what it is that we got popping over here. It would be greatly appreciated. So let me get into the show. First and foremost, let me ask y'all a question. Do you have a budget for self-improvement? Just give me a yes or no inside of the chat. Yes or no inside of the chat. Do you have a budget? I don't want to know where you're from today. I'm not really trying to check for your mental health yet. We're going to get into that because we got new rules. I'm curious. Do you have a budget for self-improvement? When I go through my line items and I look at my budget, shout out to Preston Walker. Definitely going to be reading that super chat throughout the show. When I go through, Azriel said no. Connie said no. Jaquin said yes. Randy said yes. Sabrina said yes, 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 yes. No, 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 no. Wow. It's a lot of no's in here. Blaze said no. Kojak no. Vanessa no. Carlos. Kuros yes. Alliance yes. Slim Tebow no. Lila, and I understand. Listen, Marcus said budget. Nah. Torian, nope. Black Beauty said yes. It helps my health regimen. Bearded Dapper Services say yes. Sister Vaganetta says yes. More Than Mellow, no. Nah, no. Al, no. Miss Bree said yes. J Dub says yes. Yo, we about 50% in this. No, I need to. No. Let's be real. Keep it 100% real and authentic with me, y'all. Let me know if y'all got an actual budget. Shout out to Electrician 480. I'm going to be reading that super chat shortly. Salute to you, my friend. Unfortunately, no. Cassandra says no. All right, so when I go through my budget, and self-improvement, y'all have to remember that self-improvement is and can be a bevy of things, right? It could be the amount of money that you spend for the gym. It could be the amount of money that you spend for massages. It could be cosmetic surgery. It could be clothes. It could be a lot of different things, right? And the one thing that I tell guys on a regular basis, and I tell them how to rebuild their wardrobe, right? Because I got a lot of clothes here. I got a lot of clothes back at the crib. I got a lot of clothes in my other spots. And so I got clothes everywhere, right? And I'm going to give you a little bit of insight, but we're going to deep dive into a story specifically that I was mining through, and I said, this can't be real. And I've been hearing a lot about this, but we're going to get there. But I tell guys, for example, how to rebuild their wardrobe, and a way in which you rebuild your wardrobe in a very budget conscious way. And this could apply to the ladies too, right? Patreon can be self-improvement. Coaching can be self-improvement. Everything can be a budget. Anything that helps you become the better version of you can be self-improvement, right? And I tell guys how to rebuild their wardrobe. And one of the ways that I was taught very early in life, which has always kept me fresh to death, even when I didn't have a whole lot of money and when I did have a whole lot of money throughout my life, is that you really buy one item per pay period. It could be a pair of socks. It could be a nice shirt. It could be a pair of pants. It could be some wife beaters and drawers. A lot of y'all is walking around with some toe-up panties. Keep on wearing them granny panties every day. A lot of guys over here still wearing the same Fruit of the Looms that your mama bought you when you was 18, 17, 16 in order to get you off to college. Your mama bought your last pair of drawers, and y'all drawers is holy. Holy, and I'm not talking about Christ the King. I'm talking about holy like drawers is holy, socks is toe up. When I start to see a sock and I see a hole in it, I just throw it away. When I see my chick, and well, I can't even front. Her lingerie line is clean. Her junk is sick now. I mean, she be having that fresh junk and all of that. Like my chicks, nightgowns and all of that is dope. But a lot of y'all, you know what I'm saying? All of y'all stuff look like period panties. Your nightgowns look like your grandmama wore it. I'm keeping this for sentimental reasons. Throw that junk away. I remember very early in our relationship when we first got married, and she brought them little raggedy nightgowns. I just went through and I just said, I don't want to see none of that shit. I'm sorry. Let me revise that. I don't want to see none of that stuff. We moving differently on the Millionaire Morning Show. No cursing. When I curse, I correct myself. I'm sorry. Put this on in the church. They can watch it. Put it on in the daycare. They can listen to it. Throw that junk away. Go get some new stuff. You know what I'm saying? Go get that new stuff. And so you have to make sure that you align and allocate monies to self-improvement every single time you go ahead and get that self-improvement. And you set a budget. You set a budget to be able to do so. But I ran across this story and it was really interesting. It took self-improvement to a whole nother level. How many of y'all have heard about leg lengthening surgery? How many of y'all have heard about leg lengthening surgery? Thank you for the super chat. I'm going to be reading that shortly. I always read all of the super chats. How many people have heard about leg lengthening surgery? This is really becoming a thing. I thought guys putting on fake beards was a thing. Seriously. And now we getting on the guys because we've always had conversations about the ladies and we've held the ladies accountable for the BBLs, and y'all don't even know what the difference is between fake and real anymore. And so it's similar when we having these conversations. It's similar when we having these conversations about when you ask, well, what is to be pro-black? And then everybody got a different answer. If we ask different people, what do you consider natural with women? They'll say, well, natural is, shout out to Tristan Smith. I'm definitely going to be reading that super chat shortly. If you ask what's natural among women, they're going to say, well, natural is just my hair. You know, I might want to press it. I might want to curl it and all of that stuff. But to a small demographic of people, natural may be just you got your own real stuff, right? You ain't got no pieces in your head, no wigs. You're not over here lying, talking about, but you know what I'm saying? It preserves my real hair. It protects my real hair. Well, what's the point of having real hair if you always going to have a wig on? Neither here nor there, right? So to some people, it just means your real stuff, but then you do whatever it is that you want to do to it in order to make it nice. To Umar Johnson types, he just wants you to have whatever it is that you woke up with that day, apparently, right? No color, no combs, no nothing. You just go up with a brush, and however you wake up that day, that's what natural is to a bunch of other people. So we've been having conversations about what men want and what they desire from women for a long time. Clearly, a lot of guys are very, very much not interested in BBLs. They may deal with you, they may bust you down, but it's not necessarily the woman that they want to marry or have their children, right? And so we've had that conversation for a long time. But then somebody sent this to me, and I've actually been monitoring this with a lot of people, but I didn't know that it was starting to affect what was going on in black people. The one thing I know about black people and black culture is, boy, when they find something that's culturally different or they see somebody that's innovating it, they will go all the way over to the end of the earth in order to find what they want. Passport bros, they going to go and find them a wife. If you can't afford to get your teeth done here in the United States of America, you're going to go over to another country. You're going to go to Turkey, right? Indonesia. I don't know where y'all be going. If you can't go over and get your BBLs and your breasts done, you're going to go down to Mexico, right? I see guys, they got wigs on nowadays and they got toupees and they getting it lined up and it look real. It look real. It look real. But this is something that I've seen, never paid attention to, never had a conversation about. But now men are starting to go and get leg lengthening surgery. Let me share with you this video, and then I'm going to get y'all thoughts, and then we're going to go from there.
How much did this procedure cost?
So in the States, it's...
You went to Turkey, right?
Yeah, I chose to go to Turkey because it's much better there. In the States, it's like $150,000 for both, like to do both. In Turkey, for both together, it was like $81,000.
Okay, so let's stop there. I'm going to start it from the beginning, and I'm going to play it, but I just want to add the context. When somebody says it's better there, so for example, he said that here it would have cost him $150,000 for 2 leg lengthening surgeries. So let's just say, for example, it cost him $75,000 per 3 inches. That sounds wild, don't it? If you apply it to something else, I'm sure a lot of guys will probably spend it. Shout out to my Europeans out there that need that leg lengthening surgery. Nah, I'm just kidding with you. We're not cursing. We just chilling. We just having a good time right now. We're going to deep dive into the live stream today. We got a lot to get to. We got jobs. We got people going broke, unemployment. We got the Philly police commissioner, the woman that quit because she said she tired of Kensington Street. We got a lot to go over. It's violence in Atlanta and Detroit that we need to get to. But listen, he said that it would have costed him $75,000. Wow. To gain about 3 inches, and he's had 2 leg lengthening surgeries. 2 leg lengthening surgeries. And he was able to get a discount. Instead of paying $75,000, he paid $40,000 over in Turkey for 2 of them. And so he spent roughly $80,000 for 2 leg lengthening surgeries, which would have cost him $150,000 over here in the United States of America. Let me rewind it for you a little bit because I want you to deep dive into this. Let's not go nowhere. Let's get into it, y'all.
So in the States, it's...
You went to Turkey, right?
Yeah, I chose to go to Turkey because it's much better there. In the States, it's like $150,000 for both, like to do both. In Turkey, for both together, it was like $81,000.
$81,000?
Yeah.
$81,000. You don't think you could have bought something else to make people be like, yo, I'm fucking with him, to make you feel confident?
It wasn't about them. It was about me. It was about the way I saw myself. Mm-hmm. I don't care how other people see.
Did you see yourself short?
I did. I saw myself as a small man, even though I would put on a lot of weight while I was in the...
To say I saw myself as a small man is a wild statement. I ain't even gonna lie to you. To say I saw myself as a small man is wild. But I get it. It's a lot of people that have a lot of confidence issues, and that's one of the issues that I see amongst men in a lot of instances. He said, listen, I went over there and I did it for me. I call cap. I call super cap. Man, listen, it might have been another guy that I was looking at or something like that as far as what their story was, or somebody sent this to me a little while ago. But I can vaguely remember, do not tie me to it, do not quote me on it. I'm just thinking that it's possibility that I did see him say that he had confidence issues with women, with how women perceived him, how he was treated, how he was talked to, so on and so forth. Now he's sitting over there with the long legs. He was 5'5", 5'6", 5'5", 5'6". Now he's 6 feet tall. He done got his confidence up. He don't play video games no more. He live streaming. He got his shirt off. He got the 50 Cent G Unit wife beater on a regular basis. I went over into his TikTok. He wear the 50 Cent G Unit wife beater t-shirt on. He got tattoos everywhere. Got a chain on nowadays. In the gym on a regular day. I'm conflicted. I'm going to tell you why I'm conflicted. Don't worry about it. We going to get into it. He know how to enunciate. He know how to pronounce his words correctly all of a sudden. He got the dread head. He over here living his life. Okay, so hold on. Let's back up. Let me rewind it a little bit for the people that just came in. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm. Please don't make me go over to a Teach commercial. I'm going to replay it. He spent 81 bands over in Turkey to get his legs lengthened twice. So he went from 5'6" probably to 5'9", from 5'9" over to 6 feet. So now he's 6 feet tall.
$1,000?
Yeah.
$81,000. You don't think you could have bought something else to make people be like, yo, I'm fucking with him, to make you feel confident?
It wasn't about them. It was about me. It was about the way I saw myself. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't care how other people see.
Did you see yourself short?
I did. I saw myself as a small man. Even though I would put on a lot of weight while I was in the military, I still saw myself as a small man. I hated it.
Do you know the average height in the United States?
5'9".
It's 5'7", I think.
It's 5'9".
It's 5'9". I'm sure you know. I'm not going to.
So the average height of men in the United States of America is 5'9". That is an accurate statement. I've heard it before. I think that he's absolutely right. I wouldn't argue with him. I'm sure he's done his research. The average height for a man, shout out to Bino Co. I'm going to be reading all of these super chats shortly. Thank you for supporting the platform. The average height for a man in the United States of America at this point is 5'9". It's 5'9".
Question you. I'm sure you researched it.
It's 5'9". Mm-hmm. So, and you went, what's your height now?
6 foot.
You pretty decent, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Like, you was, pause. You pretty tall, bro. Like, when I seen you outside of this, and I was like, yo, you pretty good height.
The funny thing is I almost went for a third surgery until
Hey, you see how he was smiling when the dude said that he was tall, that you were pretty decent height? He hit him with he did him with these. He hit him with the pearly whites after he said that you were pretty decent height. Let me continue.
Saw how tall I was after the second one. After the first surgery, I was like 5'9.5".
Okay, explain to us how this.
And he was about to go for a third surgery. He said, I wanted to be 6'3", 6'4". I wanted to go ahead and try to make my way into the NBA. He said, I almost went for a third surgery to go ahead and hit that 6'3", 6'4" mark and go ahead and make sure that I made it into the NBA.
Leg-Lengthening thing works. So is it like a little rod that just could keep stretching if you wanted it to, or what?
Not technically, but not exactly, because your body has limitations. So basically what happens is they break the bone, they put a rod in the bone, and then they put a device outside the leg that connects to the rod in your leg.
I can't do it. Now, the question that I have for you guys, because listen, I'm going to just tell you, and anybody that's ever met me in person, I'm a tall 5'7". Y'all see me in the streets, I always either got my girl with me or a fleet with me. Somebody is with me all day long. I stay strapped up. Anybody that's ever met me, I done flew to every last one of y'all cities. We done had Miami meetups, New Year's Eve, Washington, D.C., L.A., New York, multiple different times, back-to-back New York, Vegas, D.C. I'm going to be in D.C. in October. I'm a tall 5'7", meaning that when you see me in person, you're going to be like, oh, man, they said that you was 5'1". I'm a tall 5'7". Third leg is crazy. But here's the thing, honestly, real talk. It's your confidence. It's your confidence. Seriously. Real talk. I see guys hunched over like the Hunchback of Notre Dame. AB 6 feet, 6'1", gumpy, don't have no confidence, ain't had a haircut, breath is stinking, got a rotten tooth on the left side. ain't got confidence in the world. I done been around dudes all my life that has pulled baddies all day long. Ain't never had no problems at all. Why don't y'all control the controllables and focus on the things that you can change and the things that level up? Brush your teeth. Go get a haircut. Keep fresh. Smell good. You know what I'm saying? Dress nice. Get your money up. Focus on how to be great. But I can't even lie to you. It's very difficult for me to hold this man accountable and say that it's something wrong with what he did, not because I wouldn't do it, but because that kind of is the social norm. That is the social norm. The social norm now is, how can we then hold men accountable for having leg lengthenings? Now, I don't know if he can run fast. I don't know if he's able to stand up. I don't know what happens if you ever break a leg or something like that. But I'm just going to be real with you, bro. Like, I could never, ever, ever see myself ever being out and laid up with rods in my legs outside of something that's happened tragically where my legs got broken and now I got to repair it to where they got to actually put rods in my legs in order for me to ever walk again. I just can't see it. But it's very difficult for me to say anything about him when a lot of these guys don't have the confidence. They're never going to get the confidence. If that's the thing that then got him to the space where he's mentally feeling good about himself, how can I hold him accountable when all this time these women is literally tricking you? Yo, I was driving down the street Labor Day weekend. It was me and Rita looked over and she said, ain't no way in the world that girl's eyelashes is supposed to be that big to where you can see them from this distance. Her eyelashes to where she turned to the side and her eyelashes was protruding past her face. It's hard for me to hold this man accountable when everything that he's dealing with is fake nowadays. It's nothing real anymore. Makeup isn't something that enhances anymore for women. Makeup is something that is an entirely different, it changes these chicks into an entirely different person and persona. That's not the real her. That's not the real her. Eyelashes, BBLs. I've even heard that chicks is like contouring their chest to make it more protruding or something like that. How can I hold him accountable when everything that he's probably dealing with is the same thing that he went and did? It's hard. It's hard for me to hold him accountable. All I would say is this. This is my main message. I just wanted to share this with y'all in order to get y'all opinion. Have confidence in who you are and how you rock. Whatever that is. Control the things that you can control about yourself. Fix whatever it is that you can fix about yourself. And don't necessarily jump off the bridge with trying to impress other people, because at the end of the day, you still got to lay down with you, and you still going to have to be, you're going to go into that grave by yourself. You came into this world by yourself. You need to have confidence in yourself, because it's going to translate in everything you do. It's going to translate in your job. It's going to translate into what you do socially. It's going to translate into how it is that you perform in bed. It's going to translate into everything that you want. If you paying 81 bands or 150 bands for some cat, I could have got that for you at a discount, big dog. You could have kept 80 of the 81,000. I would have got you some of that. I could have flipped that over to you with this little baddie that I know. She would have did it for the clout. She would have did it for free. If you spend an 80 to 150,000, wow. And I don't know what these dudes is doing for a living. Where are y'all getting 150 bands at to go and get y'all leg lengthening surgery? And you about to get it third time. How much money is these people making? What do they do for a living? I'm always curious as to what people do for a living that be spending all of this money. Are they doing Afterpay? Are they doing Klarna for us broke folk over here? Are they doing Afterpay, Klarna, PPP loans? What is going on? What is happening out here in these streets to where people is getting all of this money to go and spend 80 bands in what is going on? Where y'all getting all of this money from? Real Estate Jones said, take them down where we're here, be good. 8 Mile, Livernois. I mean, not even 8 Mile, Livernois. My bad. Wrong area. That's the good area. 8 Mile and Woodward. We get you straight over there on 8 Mile and Woodward. Gratiot, Mac, Martin Luther King Boulevard. You know you can't go to no Martin Luther King and no urban city without it being towed up. You know y'all don't love Martin Luther King. Martin Luther the King Street. I can get you straight. If you trying to do it for a woman in order to impress these chicks so you can go and spend some more money on her at Roof Chris, you ain't even got to do all of that, fam. We could save you a lot of money. So I'm just always curious as to where these dudes is getting all of this money, why y'all don't have no confidence, who told y'all that y'all wasn't worthy or that y'all wasn't going to be good when y'all grow up. Why do y'all be out here so feeling so bad about yourself? I don't know what's happening out here in these streets, but unless you got a medical emergency or something like that, I just can't see myself ever doing something like this. But neither here nor there. Who am I to judge? I'm turning a new leaf. Who am I to judge? You know what I'm saying? Let me go ahead and read some of these super chats, and then we're going to continue on with the show. Who am I to judging? P. Shank says, good morning. Oh, yeah, shout out to P. Shank. I did acknowledge that already. Thank you, my friend. Electrician 480 is in the building, says, salute, big dog, working midnights, but I'm still rocking with you. Shout out to my friends and family that's out here rocking with me. And the bag chasers running it up. I appreciate you, electrician. Is it Shardra? Shardra Jones is in the building, says, thank you for dropping gems. Every day you are the best. Yo, do we not have the best morning show? Do we not have the best morning show in the world? No exceptions. National TV. Somebody send me my $30 million contract so I can sign over this show. Tristan Smith says, your breakdown of the movie Love and Basketball was legendary. If y'all didn't go and see the live stream that me and Q did, y'all need to make sure y'all go and watch that live stream on the Anton Daniels channel. It's absolutely awesome. Yeah. Thank you, Tristan Smith said it was legendary. It's time Q stops getting painted as the bad guy. Q from the movie specifically. Monica was what we call a modern woman in the movie, and the consequences of her decisions reflected it. Don't worry, I'm going to do a movie breakdown of several different movies tonight. Make sure y'all tuned into the Anton Daniels live stream tonight. I'm going to break down every last one of these movies, and I'm going to teach y'all how they've retaught y'all how to look at relationships and why you looking at your favorite movies is actually being viewed wrong. Thank you, Tristan Smith. I appreciate you. Bino Cole is in the building. Shout out to Bino Cole. Says, hold up. Wouldn't his arms not match his body length now? I don't know what's wrong. Maybe they got arm lengthening surgery too. Aaron says, wait, how you go from 5'6" to 6 feet? Wouldn't your feet be unbalanced? How you 6 feet wearing size 8 shoes without falling over? I got a lot of questions. Maybe I'll invite him over into the Anton Daniels channel and we can get that information. Citizens Diaz with the 2 ball just came through and dropped that in the collection plate. I appreciate you. John Doe says, I never knew the Napoleon complex was this deep. I'm 6'6", so I can't relate to these little ninjas. Shout out to John. Height shaming out in these streets. Hey, get it, big dog. Get it, big dog. Miss Crow T. Shetty came through and says, keep it up. I appreciate you for the 5 ball, Miss Crow T. C3 is in the building, says, unfortunately, the women want children with him are going to get played. He may be taller now, but his children are still going to be short due to genetics. Can't run from who you are. Love yourself. That's a good point. Because over in China, it was one man that sued because the woman had cosmetic surgery. And so when his kids came out looking differently than the woman, he was like, what is going on? I shouldn't even be with this woman. This is not who I married. And then he found out that she had cosmetic surgery. That is absolutely a good point. Thank you, C. Maybe he's not going to have no kids. I don't know. Ryder. Shout out to Ryder. Said long legs and short arms. Shout out to Ryder. Jeremy H. says he gave up his ability to run because he didn't have game. Many Asian men did this trying to be models. But couldn't strut down the runway. So that's an L. Is this a thing? I didn't know that this is a thing in real life. David Williams says, we fly too much and have rods in our legs. You're going to have problems going through TSA. That's true. Ian says that arthritis is about to hit hard. Dang, I wonder if people really pay attention to the health repercussions that's going to come along with it. Wealth Building Journey is in the building. Says a good number of non-melanated Google SWEs that have been making massive bags, 175K and up, have been doing this for quite some time. I did not know that. Wow, that's crazy. Jay Hunter Lee is in the building. Shout out to my dog, Jay Hunter Lee. Says leg lengthening, dude will be walking like C3PO. I don't know. This is wild. Thank you guys for supporting the platform. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm. I appreciate you. Thank you to everybody that's supporting me over on Cash App also. Let's get into the next part of the show. I didn't want to do this. I absolutely, positively did not want to do this. I didn't. You know why? Because it was San Francisco's turn, and it was Sacramento's turn, and it was the Bay Area. We was holding Oakland accountable. And then we moved over to Chicago because Chicago, they had a lot going on over there. The mayor was calling these gangbusters, large gatherings. They went over there and they was firing shots and shooting up near the funeral home. They said that they want their ops dead. They don't want no kind of possibility of him even breathing or faking his death. They want him dead. They taking you out your casket. Did y'all see them videos of them stealing caskets, them running into funerals and then taking the caskets? I ain't never seen such stuff in my life. Maybe we'll review one of those videos. Some of y'all not familiar with it. You over here taking care of the kids in the daycare. Shout out to all of the little kiddies in the daycare. Shout out to all of my truck drivers. Shout out to my ladies and my fellas that's working from home. Shout out to all of the housewives and the house husbands. Shout out to the house husbands. I didn't want to do this, though. But you know that I am an equal accountability smoke giver. And so I have to acknowledge the bad things about our culture, not just the good things, because it's a phenomenal city. These some phenomenal cities, but I don't want to just acknowledge the good things. We got to bring all of us to the front of the congregation so that we can get this work. Make sure y'all hit a like. Let's get it popping, y'all. We're going to start in Atlanta.
But we begin this hour in Atlanta's West Side neighborhood after one person is dead and 5 others are recovering, all after a shooting.
Hold on. Before we get into this story, y'all smell that? Let me take a little sip of water. Maybe I'm smelling something different than y'all smelling. Hold on. Y'all smell that? I smell zest on the screen. Before we get into the videos, Atlanta. Did y'all replace the ladies from leading with the stories over at News and 6 at Atlanta on Fox 5 in Atlanta with zest? Listen. I'm not saying that it's true. I'm saying that it just seems like it was zest coming out of the screen. Let me rewind that. I want to give an opportunity. I just want to see what the mannerisms are. Give me a second. Let me see what's going on. Y'all tell me, am I off or is this an accurate reflection? I'm going to play it from the beginning.
Hour in Atlanta's West Side neighborhood after one person is dead and 5 others are recovering, all after a shooting. Thanks so much for choosing us for your news at 6. I'm Eric Perry. We're learning 2 of
I don't know him. I've never seen him. My first time. I'm not judging. I'm just trying to understand what the hell is happening over at Fox 5 in Atlanta, News at 6. Atlanta. What is going on in Atlanta? I'm watching y'all, Atlanta.
Of those injured include a 3-year-old and a 15-year-old. Let's get right out to Fox 5's Joy Dukes, who's live with the scene with what we know so far. Joy, 5 people, a lot to process here.
It's a lot of S's. It's a lot of S's on them S's. It's a lot of S's on them S's.
Yeah, Eric, good evening to you. Just a really sad situation here where Atlanta police believe that a domestic dispute led a teenage suspect to open fire on those 3 adults and 2 children, injuring them all before taking his own life.
Again, we see a theme of anger. Intimate relationship between individuals and a gun has led to tragedy.
A tragedy Atlanta police spent hours Sunday morning and afternoon trying to piece together after some residents of Fairburn Heights reported hearing the sound of gunfire echo through their neighborhood.
It's mostly quiet and calm down here. Every now and then you might hear some shots ringing out.
Oh, hold on, sir. Hold on, sir. Let me back up. Don't sit here and tell me that it's mostly quiet and calm, but every now and then you just regularly hear some shots ringing out. That's not normal. I never hear shots ringing out in my neighborhood. What is normal for us, y'all? What is our cultural norms? Honestly, have our cultural norms evolved to the point to where, because I remember, right? I remember the first time that I had moved out of the hood and I had got into a nice neighborhood. And it's funny because it came shortly after that I had got carjacked, but I couldn't tell if it was some form of PTSD of getting away from not losing my life as far as getting carjacked, or if it was just a cultural norm. But it took me some time to get used to it, even to the point to where when I had first moved out of the hood into a really, really, really nice neighborhood, it was crazy because nothing was open past a certain time during the weekday. In that specific area, you had to drive far and wide. And I remember because we had finished moving, and so I had drove to work the next day. I was working at the plant, and I had to drive the next day to work in the moving truck because I had to stop back by the house and get the rest of the stuff because we had put it in the garage. I had sold the house, and we was moving out into the suburbs, and we was moving to a really, really, really nice area, right? And nothing was available. Nothing was open. Everything was closed past a certain time. They said, listen, you're not even getting no gas at this time. You're going to have to go to another area if you want to go get some gas because ain't nothing available for you out here. But then when I would go to sleep at night, it's crazy because I couldn't hear nothing but crickets. I couldn't hear nothing but crickets. And it wasn't until I went back and I revisited the hood that I realized that hearing sirens and people walking past your house and gunshots and stuff like that that's happening, that became our cultural norm. And the reason why I named this live stream New Rules is because I want you guys to divest yourself from what it is that you've seen as normal. That's not normal. That's not normal for us to continue to put these traumas on ourselves and on our children. And just because we went through it, we think it's cool in order to do it. You know, I hate when I hear people say, yeah, you book smart, but you're not street smart. Don't you know it's people that ain't never been in the street before, that ain't never gonna go to the street, and they ain't never got to worry about being finessed in that type of way? It's people that grow up in private schools and with suits on, and they're never ever going to experience what it is that you need in order to be street smart because they don't find themselves in those spaces, and that's not their cultural norm. Don't you know it's weird when I take my daughter through certain neighborhoods and she be like, yo, fam, we need to get up out of here. This ain't normal. We need new rules. And if you establish new rules, you'll have a new cultural norm because what you accept as regular will no longer be normal.
Authorities say the call about multiple people shot at a home on Atkins Road came in just after 10 a.m. There they found the suspected shooter, an 18-year-old male, dead on scene.
There was some type of ongoing dispute, domestic in nature, inside the home this morning that escalated to the gunfire, where the subject shot all 5 victims, then again shot himself.
18-year-old. Some form of a domestic dispute. Yo, that's not normal, y'all. That's not normal. What we've come to accept as a cultural norm is not normal. That's not normal to be having some kind of argument or dispute or something that's going on in your household, and then an 18-year-old take a pistol and then kill everybody in the house, including the 3-year-old, the 10-year-old. Everybody got to go, and then I'm going to turn it on myself, and that's the end of the conversation. That's not normal. That's not normal. This is weird. This is weirdo stuff. This is not what life is supposed to be like for us. Why do we think that this is something that we should be subjecting ourselves to? This ain't normal. This is not regular. Shout out to Atlanta.
2 children ages 3 and 15 were among the victims.
3 and
Medics rushed
15.
all 5 to the hospital for treatment while investigators work to gather evidence at the home where resident Steve Durden says he's noticed unusual activity in recent months.
They moved in, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago. It's been a lot of activity. I actually just
Moved in the neighborhood and ruined the neighborhood 6 months ago. Now we got the police and the yellow tape, the caution tape, wrapped around their crib. And y'all say that we not supposed to profile. We not supposed to pay attention. The thing that kept the neighborhood safe, the reason why my block was a place where we can go outside and play basketball and ride our bikes, and we were scared to go all the way down to Cherry Lawn because we knew that it was a possibility for the raid van and for all of the crack houses was down on Cherry Lawn. Cherry Lawn was only like 4 blocks up the street. We stayed on Green Lawn between Norfolk and Chippewa, right? And we were safe over in that area because everybody was nosy. The neighbors across the street, if they seen you getting into some stuff, shout out to Miss Rivers and Mr. Rivers. It's funny. My first experience of a black and a white couple, Mr. Rivers was a postman. He retired. He had 2 daughters. They wind up buying a house that was next door to us, and then the house that was next door to them. Phenomenal. Miss Rivers regularly looked out for the people. She was a white woman. Miss Rivers, I still go by that street today and check on Miss Rivers because Miss Rivers was always focused on, hey, is something going on out there? Let me go call the neighbors. We're going to all get together, make sure that nothing happened, make sure that the kids, whenever they would see kids playing outside, they all knew each other's kids and everything like that. The neighbors was nosy. Now we've changed to where we say, mind your business. We have completely reversed the thing that made our communities great in the first place. Even when we didn't have anything, we built it up because we stuck together and we worked together to make it a safe place for everybody to be able to exist in. We've completely rearranged what the rules are of what greatness is by saying that mind your business. No, don't mind your business. If you see something, do something. If you need to do something, then you need to go ahead and get that police officer on the phone and make sure that they check it out. We want to know what the welfare of the people is that's going. Man, don't you know that they finding people that's decomposed inside of houses that ain't never been checked on ever because we no longer have any attachment to each other and we no longer care about what it is that's best for the community? And so now stuff like this happens because we're not vetting effectively. You call it discrimination. I call it profiling properly in order to make sure that you are going to fit in with the cultural norm. In every other situation, in every other industry, being culturally accepted matters. When you go onto a job, part of the interview, and the reason why they're interviewing you is not so they can substantiate whether or not you can do the technical work. They can do that from a distance, online, whatever. They can vet that out just by asking you questions and being able to source that. That part of the interview ain't going to take but 10, 15 minutes in order to know whether or not you actually know what you're talking about as far as the job. The other 45 to an hour and a half of the interview, and the reason why they have a panel, they have one technical lead, and then they have HR, and then they have the manager, and they have multiple different people as a part of it because they want to know that you are easy to work with, that you're somebody that you can get along with. You need to be a cultural norm. You need to be able to be accepted. You need to not be a stickler. You need to not be the person that always want to call and everybody. You need to be culturally accepted and somebody that people want to work with in order to be able to level up and even join that organization. They call you a Googler, not a person that works at Google, a Googler for a reason. And so that is accepted in every other industry. including anything that you network with. When you get accepted into the country club, when you go in and get accepted in certain friend groups, you have to fit in and you have to adjust. If you go over into a sorority or a fraternity, they're going to tell you what the rules are. And if you can't abide by the rules, then you're going to be up out of here. But the only place that it exists where you should be able to do what you want to do when you want to do it is in the hood. And the things that we accept as a cultural norm has now been turned against us to allow for us to destroy each other. And that's unfortunate. It's unfortunate.
Pray for everybody in the house, in particular the small children.
Police Chief Darren Shearbaum said this was one of several domestic disputes his officers have been called to just this weekend. He urged people to reconsider resorting to violence.
We cannot be present in every living room. We cannot be present in every setting of a home where we need others to be able to intervene to stop violence occurring.
Let me switch it over. Let's go over to Detroit and see what the cultural norm is. Let's check it out, y'all.
Well, we know the family's absolutely devastated, but they have so many questions, too, in terms of the investigation. Police are still trying to piece a lot of things together themselves, but the family has questions relating to how can something like this happen when their daughter tried to do the right thing.
I'm going to be reading Super Chat shortly. This has happened over in Detroit. This just recently happened in Detroit where a 27-year-old mother, pretty girl, out at the wrong time, tried to break up a fight inside of a Coney Island, and now she no longer here with us. We just was having this conversation. On Monday night about crashing out for a chick that said that she got hit with a brick in the head, and why ain't nobody do nothing about it. I'm going to show you why.
She led with her heart. She would give you the shirt off of her back. She was always helping people.
LaDonna Kim says that's exactly what her daughter was doing when her life was stolen from her over the Labor Day weekend. Family members say 27-year-old Donna Wilbert was gunned down at Hollywood Coney Island on Detroit's west side early Sunday morning, not long after she tried to break up a fight.
We had to even tell her, like, you can't pull over in your car when you by yourself because you see somebody on the road and they need help because it's dangerous out there. But she was kind of like the type of person that would have to, like, try or see for herself.
It started with Donna and her girlfriends having a fun night out. They went to the Coney Island for a bite to eat when an argument developed between two men and a woman, according to sources.
She just wanted everybody to go home and get home. And I'm very sure in my thoughts of knowing that she wanted to get home. I guess the guy followed her out and she was able to get herself out of the restaurant and she was shot in the parking lot.
Sad, man. Sad, man. It's sad. It's a sad situation. Because you can't even say that this woman did anything wrong. But now we've devolved so much to the point to where you don't even look at women as women anymore. They look at them like, who you talking to and what made you think that you could speak to me and what made you think that you can come in between me and an argument between this chick. I'm going to follow you out to your car because you tried to intervene with what it is that I thought that what was supposed to happen inside of this. Man, listen, let me tell you something what we used to do. Shout out to all of my people that used to go to Sherrill Forest, Coney Island on Livernois between 7 Mile and 8 Mile. That used to be the spot. Shout out to all of my people, Capitol, Coney Island on 8 Mile in Wyoming. Used to be the spot. Coney Island is the spot in Detroit. Not the one downtown, but all of the hood Coney Island. Shout out to all of the great Coney Islands out here in these streets. It used to be a time where you would go out, you would have fun, you would hit the streets, you would go bowling, you would go to the parties, you would go to the bars or whatever. And when the bars closed at 2, or when you left the bars at 1 before, because you don't want to be there when the lights cut on, because then you're going to be seeing some ooga boogas. You used to go over and hit the Coney spot, right? And so you would hang out at the Coney because nobody was ready to go home. And so we knew we didn't have to get up in the morning because it was going to be Saturday morning, so we would hit the Coney spots, right? Can't do that no more. It's a death trap. You can't do that no more. It's a death trap. Real talk, it's different now.
Although we couldn't actually touch her when we went to go view her based upon the circumstance, she even had a smile on her face as
Good
we had
parents.
to observe her.
Good parents.
In her last state.
She was doing the right thing, and that's what angers me.
Detroit activist Pastor Mo works with many community groups teaching de-escalation techniques to quash beefs before they ever can turn violent. He offered this advice for safe conflict resolution.
Make sure you're in a lighted area. Read body language. Look and see if they're reaching. Look and see if there's anything poking out their waist.
I got a suggestion. I mean, this seemed like a really nice guy and a good brother. He got his buffs on, got the wood buffs on and everything like that. Seems like he's doing the right thing in the community. I got a completely different set of advice. Don't even find yourself in a situation to even begin with as far as making sure, and shout out to Aaron. I'm going to definitely be reading that super chat shortly. Don't even put yourself in a situation to where you would have to intervene. When you see stuff happening, unfortunately, the new rules is, the name of this live stream is called New Rules, is you just got to walk away. You're going to have to leave. I hate to say it. But when I see a group of people that may or may not look like me all in one area, when I see the gas station is flooded with people and they out there in Dodge Chargers and Challengers and Hellcats and Altimas and all of that type of stuff, walk on by. I just got to keep going. I can't stop. If I go to a spot and it seems to be a little bit too ghetto, I got to walk on by. If I see a group of people and they being too loud in a specific neighborhood, I got to pass on that real estate. Location. The best form of protection that we got to give our women nowadays is not just to stay strapped up, but not even to be engaged in the first place. Don't go out past a certain time. Don't be in certain areas. Be under the covering of your father or your man. And don't even put yourself in it. It's unfortunate. You can't even go out anymore. When I'm not driving one of the electric cars, I'll make sure that the gas car is fully gassed up because I don't want you stopping nowhere between the destination that you got to go to and then getting back here. I don't want you at a gas station, right? I'm not going to let my daughter be out here driving. That's why my daughter need to be under my covering. That's why she don't necessarily need to be living by herself. Everything that she could do, that she would want to do on her own house, she can have her own little wing. I'm going to make sure that your car got gas in it. Don't worry about it. Full tank. Anywhere you need to go. From here to Ohio, you can get there and back, and you should not be stopping at a gas station at all. You should not be stopping at a gas station at all. I'm going to make sure that you're good. I can't let that happen. I can't let you operate out here in these streets because it's bad, and our cultural norms have absolutely, positively gone down the drain. It just is what it is. It's a reality. Let me go ahead and read some of these super chats, and then we're going to move on because we got a lot to get to today. We going to Philly next. Mr. Lone Star is in the building. Thank you, Mr. Lone Star. Says, when you marry a tall chick and she's expecting an NBA player, but she get a jockey. Hey, for all of my jockeys out there, don't trip. Chop that tree down, baby. Chop that. Listen, he gonna change your life. That third leg gonna change your life. He gonna touch you in ways you ain't never been touched before. You're not gonna be able to unsee me. Shout out to Mr. Lone Star in the building. K. Cooper says, best breakdown last chapter. How Robin shouldn't have divorced her husband. Shout out to Kay Cooper in the building. I appreciate you. Thank you, my love. Aaron says, I had an interview with Intel and IBM, and they had me solving electrical engineering, material, mechanical design problems on a whiteboard. Felt like I retook the PhD qualifying exam. Run it up. Run it up. John Wick is in the building. Shout out to John Wick. Said, there's nothing more painful to me at this stage in my life than to walk down the street and hear footsteps. Footsteps. And the dog. Then turn around and see somebody white and feel relieved. Jesse Jackson. Woo! It's a phenomenal show. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm. Is the like slow? Do we got to go over to that Teach commercial? Teach, 30% off your first order plus a free gift. It's an amazing deal. You got to get started today. You can't be out here looking like a dusty. And if you travel as much as I do, which I'm sure my bag chasers is out here getting it, but you know how we are. We in the top 5%, top 10%, top 1%. You got to make your lives uncomplicated. And Teach, there's no better product. There's no better. And you can't be looking like a dusty. Do we need to go to the Teach commercial because y'all don't know how to hit a like and subscribe? Shout out to JC. I'm going to be reading that super chat shortly. Let's move on to the next one. I'm assuming that y'all getting the likes up. Let's move over. Let's move. Shout out to Ghost Shells. I'm definitely going to get to that shortly. Philly. Shout out to Philly. Shout out to the Fresh Prince. Shout out to Freeway. Shout out to the Fresh Prince. Summertime. Listen, I don't care how much Will Smith get cheated on. I don't care how bald his girl goes. It's always going to be summertime. Ooh, summertime. It's always going to be summertime all across the world. That is the anthem for the summer. There is never going to be a greater anthem for the summertime than summer's. Shout out to Will Smith with the summertime anthem. Shout out to Freeway, Philly. Shout out to my dog, Freeway. It's the Rock in the building, yeah. Even though Cassidy did beat you down in that battle, but Freeway is in the building. Shout out to the Beanie Siegel. Shout out to the Beans. Shout out to, who else is from Philly? Lil Uzi Vert. Y'all got some sass in Philly. But the Philly commissioner apparently decided to resign. Woman, tired of what was going on out in these streets. I guess she said, I'm not built for it. Let's go ahead and get into the story, and then I'm going to give y'all my thoughts. I'm going to make sure that y'all stay up to date on what's happening out here in these streets.
Today, Philadelphia Police Commissioner Danielle Outlaw announced she is resigning. Outlaw will be leaving in a few weeks to take a new job in law enforcement. She's faced a number of challenges.
First of all, this is how I want to see my women. I don't want to see no men leading off with the news, going into the next story like we did in Atlanta. I want to see my women shapely. I want to see them like a Coke bottle. I want to see them. I like my women shapely. This is what I want to see leading into my story. I'm sorry, I didn't want to get y'all distracted. Let's continue.
Challenges during her 3.5 years in Philadelphia, from struggles with recruitment to police reform and concerns over officers' mental health. Danielle Outlaw took over as police commissioner in February of 2020, becoming the first black woman to be commissioner of the department. About a month later, Corporal James O'Connor was shot and killed while serving a warrant. He was the first officer killed in the line of duty in 5 years. Shortly after that, the pandemic hit, followed by civil unrest in the wake of the killing of George Floyd. Both she and Mayor Kenney received backlash for authorizing the use of tear gas during protests. Less than a year into the job, that following January, Outlaw said she would not resign over her department's handling of the protests. There were more calls for reform and transparency just last month after a police officer shot and killed 17-year-old Eddie Irizarry in Kensington. NBC 10 Sydney Law.
Kensington, huh? Let's continue.
Is live in Center City now, and Sid, you spoke to anti-violence groups as well as residents about their concerns.
Well, hey, Jackie, good afternoon to you indeed.
What do y'all think that the Philly residents and the anti-violence groups and the protesters and the counties and all of this, what do y'all think that they're going to say before we get into it? I have not seen this video. I do not know what is going to be said. What do y'all think is going to be conveyed as far as the sentiment of the people now that the first woman Philly commissioner is resigning from her post, especially after the way that they felt as though she handled the protesters and they was trying to get them up out of there. Listen, get on up out of there. The one thing that I couldn't understand about the pandemic protesters is, why did we allow for that to continue to happen when we was all supposed to be 6 feet? You couldn't go into your job. You couldn't stand in an elevator with anybody. You couldn't go to the bank. You couldn't do nothing. Nothing. You couldn't go and open up your barbershop. But everybody could hug, fight, spit, yell, throw all of their germs in the air like outbreak, not wear no mask because they was allegedly outside. And everybody was able to gather together and do what they wanted to do in the name of protesting, but nobody tripped about it. And that made sense. Nobody was supposed to be anywhere close to each other. I seen structures erecting up at the cashiers, at the grocery stores. It was plexiglass everywhere. It was more plexiglass that was being sold than I've ever seen in my entire life. But everybody was sitting around protesting with each other. But I want to see what the people got to say.
We did. Lots of people from all corners of the city are reacting and reflecting today about Commissioner's outlaw tenure here in the city. They're also voicing what their hopes are.
Now remember, they didn't like her when she was in office. They didn't like her. Back then, you didn't want me. They didn't like her when she was in office. I'm going to be reading those super chats shortly.
For her replacement, as well as the future of curbing violent crime in a city of brotherly love.
From North Philadelphia.
Well, I think she's been doing a good job.
To South Philly.
God bless her for getting the opportunity to get out of the city.
City residents are...
That hot woman said, God bless her for the opportunity to get up out of this joint. God bless her for the opportunity to get up out of the city. She did her time like it's a prison sentence.
Reacting to news that Philadelphia Police Commissioner...
Hey, she kind of cute, though, on the low, though.
Danielle Outlaw is resigning.
Honestly, I just think that's kind of how the nature of that business goes.
Nothing but amazing things.
Outlaw was the city's first black female commissioner. She's been here 3.5 years. She is leaving Philly to work for the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey in the agency's office of the chief security. This as it streamlines technology and innovative security initiatives.
I wasn't surprised.
Anton Moore is the executive director of Philly's Unity in the Community.
I can't say she did a bad job. That's a tough job. Being police commissioner, I'm a realist, and I understand that. A police commissioner cannot stop a person from shooting a gun.
It comes as Philly's homicide rate is down right now 20% compared to this time last year. The city has seen 295 murders as of yesterday. We had 369 this same time last year and a total of 516 homicides in 2022.
Police officer.
Outlaw's departure also happens to follow fallout of the department's admitted mishandling of the events leading up to and following a police officer shooting Eddie Irizarry.
Usually when a new mayor is coming in, you know what I mean, the old commissioner usually go. I mean, look at Ramsey. He served 8 years under Michael Nutter. Kenny came in. He moved on.
Moore says whoever takes over, there must be teamwork and what he calls a bottom to the top approach.
And when I say the bottom, working with community leaders, working with everyday neighborhoods, of course, gaining trust with community stakeholders and everyday neighbors to make this work.
A lot of times people don't really understand. And I honestly, I think that she made the best decision. I think she made a very, 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 shout out to AL. I'm going to be reading that super chat shortly. I think that she made a very smart decision. You know what she did? I'm going to tell you exactly what she did. She made a decision that was based off of business. 100% business. She served her time long enough to actually be able to leverage the position that she had, add it to her resume, and then be able to move on to something that I'm sure is less stressful and much more lucrative as a result of it. From the very beginning, and see, let me tell you what the difference is, right? For some reason, y'all think that a lot of these positions and a lot of these jobs is based off of community service and community leadership. It's not. It's not. And that's why it's very difficult for you to get somebody that's actually worth their salt to take these positions, because it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't, but then you're not even properly compensating me, or you're not really adding, you know what I'm saying, making sure that the amount of money that I'm making is worth the stress that comes along with the job. And so what the smart people do is they leverage it and they use it in order to really leapfrog into the thing that they're supposed to do, or to have some level of job security. But as far as all of this working with community leadership and all of this, yeah, they probably will. Yeah, it's a possibility that that'll happen. But the reality is that I'm here for a short time, not a long time. I'm here for a short time and not a long time. And so now she made sure that she was over there interviewing. She took her PTO time. She did a second and a third interview. She had the credentials. She was there for 3 years, enough to get some time under her belt and to get some small victories and build some relationships, negotiated, and then they're going to pay you more to leave than they would in order for you to still be there. Do you know that the majority of presidents don't even really start getting the bag until they leave their job? Did you know that the majority of governors, Jennifer Granholm, largely credited with managing through all of the trash that then became Michigan, that future governors had to then navigate through in order to continue to clean up the mess, right? Led Michigan right on down into the toilet until we had to come on out of it on our own, right? Jennifer Granholm then became a lot of these presidential cabinets and was teaching over at some of the most prestigious universities and continued to secure the bag. Little cute white woman. Leverage the fact that she was at Michigan or she was a Michigan governor to continue to run up the bag in other places. A lot of these women are very smart. They're very, very smart. They're not necessarily built for and suited for these jobs. There's no way in the world that I would ever advocate for any woman that I know to have to be subjected to becoming a police commissioner, especially of Philly. Shout out to Kensington Avenue. But the reason that she did it is not necessarily because it was best for her from a I want to fix things perspective. The reason that she did it is because it was best for her for her future endeavors in her bag. And that's why I believe that she did it. Yep, Secretary of Energy. You are absolutely correct. That's why she did it. And so most of these positions and most of these situations where you get a mayor, you get a police commissioner, y'all get these elected officials, you got all of these people, always think about what the long-term vision of that purpose is. You get a county prosecutor, right? You get a person that's all of these positions are for sale, man.
Now, Commissioner Danielle Outlaw did send a letter to all Philadelphia police officers this morning at Reeds and Park, quote, "Together, we have proven that we are unbreakable and we have endured the most challenging times in the chronicles of policing."
Absolutely, you have. And now it's time to move on to something in greener pastures, something less stressful, something that you ain't got to keep you up at night. You ain't got to worry about getting up in the middle of the night to go and do a press conference. None of that type of stuff, right? And so for all of these people that think that these positions are not for sale, they absolutely are. And y'all need to look at every situation as a business instead of looking at it based off of what can you do for the community, because the community is not going to do anything for you. They need to do it for themselves. You are there to do a job. You are not there to be the job. Your job does not define you. It is a way for you to continue to bring in resources and then for you to level up in order to continue to take care of your family. This woman executed flawlessly. Came in at a bad time, managed through a crisis, went through the pandemic, and then right when she was facing more scrutiny, she went and got another job so that she can move on and move up. Smart move. Get on up out of there. Let me read some of these super chats, and then we're going to move over into the next story. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for contributing to the platform. JC says, I live 3 blocks away from the real Coney Island in Brooklyn. Cap. The only real Coney Islands as far as the actual places where you eat is in Detroit. I don't care what they tell you. I don't care how many Ferris wheels is out there. I don't care what the people are saying. The only real Coney Islands is the ones that's in Detroit. Money Magic said, no, bro, you wrong on this one. She did a terrible job. When did you have to do a good job in order to level up and get another position? Some of y'all doing terrible jobs in the jobs that you at right now, but I bet you gonna pad that resume and make it look real good and then be able to sell yourself because it's a leapfrog into another position. Listen, do you think that this woman over at the former Philly police commissioner, cares about what you think the job that she did is? Do you really honestly think? I know that Coney Island is in New York, but Coney Island as a restaurant is in Detroit. The real Coney Island is in Detroit. Do you think that this woman care about what it is that y'all think and what her job is? You think she care about what the record is? This woman has moved over to New York, New Jersey, working for the Port Authority, and she over there running up the bag. You think she care about what you think? Stop it. Stop it. Y'all are absolutely off. Let me read Ghost Shells. Ghost Shells says, I'm going to just move in with you, Anton. Miami expensive. You can move in one of my rental properties. Make sure you got your credit score together. Make sure you got your references. You're not moving in with me personally. You can move into one of my rental properties that I'm building right now. Get your credit score together. Make sure your references are straight. Make sure that you give me an actual real phone number so that I can call your job to verify how long that you've been there and how much money you make. Also, I need to know the details of your family. I need to know how many people coming with you. I need to understand whether or not you have small children. All of that stuff is relevant information for me to be able to vet whether or not you're actually going to be attending or not. I need to see you. I need to be able to see your lips to see if they black. I want to know if you smoke. I have a live stream inside of the Patreon for you to be able to vet your tenants effectively. Don't worry about it. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Shout out to Ghost Shells. I appreciate you for the super chat, my friend. Cliff Williams is in the building. Says, just curious, why you say 5%, 10%, 1% in that order? Because I didn't have a script and I was just talking my talk. Shout out to the people that's used to the Teach Hanley commercial. 30% off your first order plus a free gift. That link is in the description. Also, yeah. It's making it way more authentic. If I just give you the script based off of what they tried to give me, they gave me the script. I said, nah, I'm going to improv this. I started doing my teas. They said, yeah, we like the way you did it, Anton. You do your thing. Shout out to Justin, my dog in the building, says, big dog, just showing love. Shout out to Justin, my dog. I appreciate you, bro. Aaron says, but she thick, though. That's a fact. That's a fact. John Wick says, Anton, if you got time, Google John Wick for a good laugh. John Wick happened under Outlaw's watch. Interesting. I didn't know that. I'm going to have to Google that. Y'all ain't going to mess up my search results. Y'all ain't going to have my computer getting no virus looking up John Wick. Who Battle Rap Outlet is in the building, says, I need to sign up for your coaching, big bro. Appreciate the knowledge and awareness you spread. Blessings. Email me at antondaniels413@gmail.com. antondaniels413@gmail.com. I appreciate you. Me and Hermes in the chat, we got a love-hate relationship, but I love her. I love her more than she loves herself. I love her more than she loves me. I loved Hermes Addict first. Me and Hermes Addict have a love-hate relationship, but we are definitely in a relationship. Let's be clear about that. Let me move over into the next story. I'm going to be reading super chats throughout the show. Make sure y'all get the likes up. I see they still anemic. I'm going to just go ahead and go over to the Teach Hanley, 30% off your first order plus a free gift. Do I need to do that? What's going on? It's Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me, but I just got to say, y'all want me to go over to that? Kobe says, Anton really looking at people's lips to qualify them for tenancy. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm going to talk to you. I want to see whether or not you can pronounce your words carefully. I need to know why you moving. I need to know where you moving from so that I can check with them to make sure you ain't getting kicked out and evicted. I want to know whether or not your lips is black, whether or not your lips is inherently pink. I don't want you over there smoking in my crib. I want to know if you got pets because I'm going to charge you extra. I want to know everything. I am going to profile. Don't you know that when you get applications and you have conversations with people in order to qualify them to be your tenant that you profiling? Heck yeah, I'm stereotyping. You know how much money I put into my property? You know how meaningful it is for me? I'm not going to have you coming in there tearing it up because I failed to identify you got a smoking problem and that you smoke trees and you're going to be having people over there all day and you're going to be tearing up. I want you bringing no bed bugs inside of my place. My neighbors don't like that. I want you messing up with the association and then they want to come over there and call me. Anton, they're always loud at night. That's because I didn't look at their lips. I need to look at their lips. You know what I'm saying? You can tell the difference between a smoker's lips and a regular person's lips. Them smoker lips, because they want to smoke it all the way down to the roach, and they keep burning their lips, and they got all them black spots around that mug. You can't cover that up. You can't cover that up. In a minute, I'm going to start drug testing y'all before y'all get inside of my places. You know what I'm saying? New factories, no workers. We going into the money. Make sure that y'all hit a like for the algorithm. Let's get to it. No excuses.
Everything that they touch, everything that they do every single day is related to preparing them for that job. So when students get to industry, they are ready to hit the ground running.
These are students in a technical college, learning to work on electric vehicles or with other advanced machinery for free. It's a blueprint for what education in America might need to look like on a much broader scale to meet the country's demand for skilled workers as billions of dollars flow into the production of electric vehicles, clean energy, and semiconductor chips. This is the Smyrna campus of the Tennessee College of Applied Technology, or TCAT, where classrooms look like auto body workshops and assembly plants. In 2014, the state made its community colleges and technical schools like the TCATs tuition-free for high school graduates, and soon after for older adults. The TCATs
tuition-free for high school graduates. Somebody said, Black Silverchair said, what happens if they lips is black, Anton? Application, go in the garbage. I don't even want to see your credit score. If your lips is black, you cannot be a tenant. That is very much a thing for me. I cannot have any smokers messing up the walls, messing up my paint jobs, having smoke trapped in, all of this, messing up the cabinets and stuff like that. Man, listen. You're not about to be smoking me out of house and home, having a neighborhood smelling like a train. No. Y'all want to know another red flag for me? Y'all want another? Don't worry, I'm going to get into the jobs. We're going to get to the money shortly. You know what else is another red flag? If somebody come up to me, let's say, for example, you vetting them for a job or you vetting them for, to become a tenant or, for housing or whatever like that. And then they hit me with the, because we brothers. Yeah, because we got to look out for each other, fam. Because them white folks, they don't really like us over here and stuff like that. I just go ahead, get the trash can, doop, just drop it right on in the trash can. I don't want nobody looking for the hookup. I don't want nobody that want me to overlook stuff because they over here talking about, because these white folks, we got to come over here and we got to take over, fam. No, we not. I like my neighbors. My neighbor are good folk. And I am not about to give you the hood discount and to look out for you because you black and to overlook all these good other folks' application because I'm a black man. You're going to be homeless if you're waiting on me to look out for you. But let's get back into the story. So this particular place is offering, and there's plenty of places like it. They're offering free tuition for high school graduates to then prepare them for the future workforce because there is a shortage. Somebody said weed legal. Not in my house. Weed is not legal in my house. Pets are not legal in my house. If you are a cat lady, application denied. They are making applicants' job ready, but there are so many people that is in shortage And everybody keep asking you where's the jobs at. They all available. It's just that I don't think that the overwhelming majority of people, y'all gonna really make me address this whole tenant situation, but I'm gonna do that after the show. Don't worry, I'll get to y'all in a minute. I'll get to y'all that feel like y'all deserve to be in my house that I paid for. Don't worry about it. Let's continue over with the show.
System has some 34,000 students at more than 24 separate schools.
My favorite part of TCAT would hands down be the hands-on training. You're basically faced with the same problems and situations that I'm going to be faced with in the workforce.
And you know, the interesting thing about it is that it's funny because Rita just called me this morning and was like, this boy didn't know what he was talking about. You know what I'm saying? I should have went ahead, went with my first mind and picked picked this dealership over that dealership, because when she took my Porsche in, she said she wound up turning them down and then taking it over into the other dealership in order to get the Porsche repaired, because they were like, oh, we did work on electric vehicles. However, we don't work on electric vehicles no more because one of the technicians that actually do that particular work in order to be certified, they quit. So now we are hearing a bunch of people that have opportunities available to them, but I just think that most people don't want to work, honestly. There are so many opportunities for people. I can't stand where people keep saying that I can't find a job, I can't do this, I can't do that, I got a felony on my record. There's plenty of places that are looking to hire you, and they will also give you the bag, but very few people actually is going to show up the next day after they get hired. Most of the time, they just quiet quit, and they don't even show up on their first day at work. It is a thing for people not to even show up on their first day of work, even for good jobs.
Pretty much learning it from the beginning to the end. As soon as I brought it in, I washed it. I'm looking at it, made a plan of attack, disassembled, and started the repair. And tomorrow I will be trying to prime and get it ready for paint, and hopefully send it home on the third day.
Look at that, and she ain't even got no teeth. She ain't even got no teeth. This girl can work in a body shop. She can change a light. She can do your oil. And she ain't even, hold on, let me rewind this real quick. Yeah, she over there looking like a vampire. And I'm not judging her. I'm just saying that a good worker, don't necessarily even have to be able to chew in the front of their mouth. They can chew on the left side. They can chew on the right side. Maybe they bite it like lions bite their meat. You don't see lions having trouble chewing and gnawing through and making sure that they clean the bones off of that little baby calf that they just tackled. We are very much like lions. You don't necessarily have to have a good set of teeth in order to be a good worker. That is not the criteria. I will hire somebody that don't have teeth. I don't discriminate for your teeth. I don't. I think that you are, as long as you are an able-bodied adult, I don't discriminate for nothing when it comes to this bag. I don't care who you sleep with. I don't care if you got teeth or not. I don't care about none of that junk. The only thing I care about is whether or not you're going to do your job. It's hard to find good workers out here in these streets.
And hopefully send it home on the third day.
With electric vehicles at the heart of the most ambitious U.S. industrial policy since World War II, with over $100 billion being invested into the country's electric car industry, these may just be the kind of classrooms that America is going to need to sort its countrywide worker shortage.
We were one of the first higher education institutions in Middle Tennessee to start offering apprenticeship programs. We offer electrician apprenticeship program, industrial electrical maintenance, machine tool, mechatronics, and we're always looking to add new apprenticeship programs. And really, that's just.
But in order to move into one of my cribs, you gotta have teeth, because I don't know what you smoking. You may be you may be an excellent worker. You just gotta live somewhere else. Teeth matters. That's why, man, y'all got to learn how to vet more effectively. You got to bring these people in like candidates and interview them. I want you and your whole family there for the interview process. I need to see your teeth. I don't know if you on meth. I don't know what you smoking. I don't know if you got crack in your jaws. I don't know what's going on. You could be doing really good work. Some of the best workers that I've ever seen in my life is crackheads. That's a fact. That's a fact. Some of the greatest workers that I've ever seen in my life is crackheads. So you may not have no teeth, and I may let you become a tenant, but I need to know why. I need to be able to read between the lines as to why you don't got no teeth. Was you just like type of person that didn't brush your teeth? You know, did you have a problem as far as your kid when you was a kid? Did you got gum disease? Did your mama do it to you when you was little and you just had no opportunity to be able to fix them? I can kind of figure that out. I'm not going to ask you directly, but I can try to figure that out. I want to know whether if you coming into the interview process and you scratching a lot, I want to know why you scratching so much. Are you going through withdrawals? I need to see what's going on. Shout out to you.
Driven by the industry, whatever they need.
Tennessee's early investment in technical education put it ahead of the curve, and it seems to be paying off. More than $16 billion in EV capital has poured into the state since 2017. And last year, Ford broke ground on a giant new plant near Memphis that's slated to open in 2025.
You see how big that plant is? There's a lot of jobs that are available for people. And one of the biggest problems that even Tesla said when they started to break ground on the new plants that they had going up in Texas was that they would have trouble staffing them and trouble getting workers to go in and do the jobs. It was hard to find enough people that actually wanted to work. But there are several different positions everywhere. I mean, listen, if you out here in these streets and you can't find a job, I honestly believe that you're lazy. Shout out to Anastasio. I'm definitely going to be reading that super chat shortly. If you out here and you can't find a job, I just honestly think that you're lazy.
And churn out 500,000 electric trucks per year. But even with this head start, the key problem of having enough skilled workers to fill these jobs remains. The shortfall is particularly acute when comparing the U.S. to countries like Germany that have long invested in technical training to boost industry at home.
Germany, they do it really well, to where they direct their path early, whether it be technical or university path. So that's one thing that Tennessee is really doing a good job with. But of course, we need more TCAT students. We need more students that are available and ready to come into jobs. So we are all challenged as institutions and colleges across the state to make sure that we can increase our pipeline, we can increase our enrollment.
Look at that strong black man. Look at that professional black man. He got a pin on his lapel. If you see, I feel safe around him. I feel absolutely positively safe around this man. This man is a man that would qualify immediately for tenancy. This man is definitely a man that can 100. I feel safe walking down the street. I don't think that he's going to do anything to me. He knows how to, talk to me. You see how we was able to profile this correctly and see that this man is worthy of having a home in a specific neighborhood? This man is absolutely positively. This is what profiling looks like. Smart, articulate, dresses well, carries himself nice, knows how to express his point 100%. You see this man on the ballot, he comes to your house, he asks you for your vote and you're inside of the city council. Yes, sir. Absolutely. You got my vote. You don't even know what he said yet.
So that way we can meet the demand of industry.
This campus in Smyrna opened in 2017 in partnership with Nissan, which makes its Leaf electric cars nearby. Company trainees and traditional students split their time between lectures and the shop, with programs tailored to specific industry needs. And while free tuition is not the same as free college, given students still face a variety of other costs associated with school, such as housing, it's a desirable alternative for those seeking to avoid taking on a lot of student debt.
We're doing exactly what the company needs and nothing else. There is no fluff. Everything can be customized to whatever the company needs it to be.
When I started thinking about day job, 6 hours of class, I said, you know what? I can do it. My daily work is a machine operator. I had to step out of class for a short period of time. And so when I came back, they had taken care of financial aid paperwork for me. They had taken care of enrollment for me. So for someone to believe in you, it just boosts your confidence level so much.
The battle is finding enough students who are interested. Tennessee's labor force participation rate is in the bottom 10 of U.S. states, and manufacturing now accounts for just 8% of the U.S. workforce.
Meaning, Meaning that, and this also opens up the conversation from when we're talking about immigrants. It opens up the conversation when we're talking about migrants. It opens up the conversation when we talk about the jobs that people do and don't want to do. Yo, you know my biggest problem with people is that they have too much pride to actually do the thing that's in their own best interest. That's my biggest problem with people. My biggest problem with people, and I think that another thing that affects our community, again, the name of this live stream is called New Rules. The biggest problem with people is that they so worried about not being the one that's at the top of the food chain or not presenting themselves as a boss. I'm a boss dude. I'm a boss chick. All of this other type of stuff. I don't like the fact that it's no longer acceptable for you to work hard and have a normal job and then use that job to continue to level up or invest in yourself to become even better in the future. When did it not be cool, or when was it not cool in order for you to be the postman, or for you to actually be the welder, or for you to be the electrician or the HVAC guy, right? Or for you to take care of business on your job? Now, I still want you to understand financial literacy. I still don't want you adjusting your lifestyle over to how much you make. I still think it's important for you to have a business so that you can understand the benefits that come along with it. I still, 100%, absolutely want you to be able to run the checkup. I don't want you to live in duress, but when did it become bad for us to say, yeah, I don't necessarily make six figures? When did that become an issue? When did we start insulting people that wore uniforms every day? Huh? We live in a different world, y'all.
Half of what it was at the start of the 1990s.
We don't want people to think that you come here if you're not good enough to go to college, because the work and the jobs that these guys are doing once they complete here, you have to be good enough in order to make our society run. So it's very important that we spread the news of technical education into the high schools, into the middle schools, so they know exactly what's out there for them as an option.
Why did we do this story today? Why was it important for me to bring this up? I brought this up is because I want you to know that there's alternative options for you to continue to educate yourself, get to the bag, have opportunities, and be able to run that checkup. There's always options, but it's very hard to convince people that actually want to do the jobs or want to work to actually embrace this thing and to become it. And everybody think that they too good for it. And I don't understand it. Let me read some of these super chats, and then I want to go over to the other side of this conversation with the last part of this live stream, right? Because I want to leave y'all with some gems of the people that are complaining about unemployment and the lack of jobs. Right before I showed you this one that showed you that there are readily available jobs for you. It's just that you don't necessarily want to participate in the workforce because it don't give you good Instagram pictures. All right. Let me go ahead and read some of these super chats and then we're going to get it popping. Shout out to Lano. 1017 Lano was in the building. Shout out to my 1017 family. I appreciate y'all. Gucci, man. Gucci. Jamal Park says, Anton, if you were forced back in time, hypothetically, I can already tell that this is going to be a good one. If you were forced back in time, hypothetically, back to when you were 23, 24, what business would you start? Would it still be a restaurant, a print-on-demand business, consulting? Just curious what you would, where you would start. It depends, because when you're talking about 23, 24, I'm 41 now, so you're talking about 17, 18 years ago. In the industries, am I going back in time and I'm going back to that particular time, or am I 23, 24 years old today? Because the changes in the industry, the changes in e-commerce, the changes in the type of businesses that you would want to be a part of is completely different than the way it is today. All right, let me answer the question in both ways, because you did send a 20 ball and I appreciate the 20 ball. So if I went back in time back then, 23, 24 years old, I was working at the plant, I would do it exactly the same way that I did it. I would start a consulting company, and I would also leverage my skills in order to create the applications and the software engineering. I actually talk a lot about the type of businesses that I am in today. And if you're not a part of the Patreon, you definitely want to get into the Patreon and read some of those businesses. How I make between $500,000 and $1 million a year, life hacking. But I would start the same thing. The thing about businesses is that you have to operate lean. You actually want to tie it close to your lifestyle, and you actually want to continue to not have to depend on it in order for you to continue to build it. That's how you can scale it more effectively. In both instances, I will go straight into e-commerce. E-commerce and consulting, you don't need a lot of labor. You don't need anybody in order to start it. You don't need anything in order to continue to get it running. It's a very low cost to entry. And so I would get into e-commerce 100% in both instances. That's what I did. That's what I got into. It was very lucrative for me, even when I was 23, 24 years old. Today, I think that the best businesses for you to start is consulting and e-commerce, or to lean into whatever it is that you do professionally and then extend that over into the business aspect of what you can do outside of your profession. A lot of people, what they do is they overlook what it is that they do professionally, and they put all of their eggs into, let's say, for example, you get educated, you become successful. Let's say you become a software engineer, right? And what they'll do is they'll leverage the fact that they had that education to only spend 1 or 2, 3 hours a day, because most of y'all software engineers, y'all not doing that much work. At most, you may spend 1, 2, 3 hours actually doing work. The rest of the time, either you on meetings or you chilling and you not really doing nothing. And so what I would do is I would leverage that time to also spend all of my energy building up the businesses that I then operated outside of whatever it was that my profession was, right? So you need to start businesses based off of what you know, so that you can then leapfrog into the business aspect and exponentially grow the bag. But most people don't take their expertise and then they create another business on top of that. They just do their job, they go home, they don't apply it to anything, and that's how they wind up just being a regular person every day. Even when it came to UX UI applies to everything. The way that we design a restaurant, getting people in and out, how it is that we would have food, how we can create things to make it more efficient, how we can leverage that information in order to reduce labor. You know what I'm saying? UX UI is everything, but very few times do people actually leverage what it is that they do for a living, that they executing for somebody else or working on their job in order to then create the business that's then going to take them to the next level outside of that. All you need then is the other factors that go into it. You need the marketing, right? You need to be able to make sure that you get mentorship and how it is that you can, you need to do your accounting, you need to do your bookkeeping. You need to make sure that you know exactly what it takes in order to start a business, what type of business is it. The technical aspects of how to get the moving parts, that's easy. You can get help in that. You can get, mentorship or consulting with that. You can get that stuff together. But very few times do people actually be able to leverage the thing that they're an expert in order to create the business and then put all of the other pieces around it. You see what I'm saying? So if it was me, 23, 24 years old, 1 of 3 options or all 3 or a combination of both, right? E-commerce, consulting, or leveraging whatever it is that you do as an expert today in order to get into the businesses that you're supposed to do long term. All right. So that was a very good question. I appreciate that question, and hopefully you got value in the answer. Because a lot of times, and let me give a little bit of shout out to Jamal Parks. Great question. A lot of the problems is also people are lazy. So by the time they get off of work, they want to work their 8 hours. They want to come home and they just want to chill, or they want to, play video games. And so very few times do people put in that extra time in order to really jump into the next thing that they're supposed to be getting into. All right. So shout out to you. I appreciate you, Jamal. Thank you for the super chat. Mary Mo, shout out to Mary Mo in the building, says, "You are so right, Anton. I personally know landlords that have spent so much time having to remodel after horrible tenants." Most of my friends, right? Because I know people that got gas stations. I know people that got lots of different businesses. They got out of, and I've actually purchased a property from one guy. They got out of the landlord business because they didn't like their experience in dealing with certain tenants, and that they had to spend so much time continuing to revamp and remodel and then going through the eviction process. And for them, it was just a hassle, because if they didn't have good tenants, it's almost like if you don't create the space to have great customers, if you got to create a business in the hood and then you got to put bars up and you got to put plexiglass, versus creating a business where people love and embrace your business and make it a part of the community, it's going to be for a bad experience. So you also have to vet effectively the type of people that you want coming into your business, and that also includes the tenants that you have. So shout out to Mary Mo. I appreciate you for the super chat. Thank you, my love. You are absolutely correct. Marriage, Politics, and Sports says, Anton, no lie, this show is addictive. Rock on, brother. It's the greatest show in the morning. And if they haven't given me my 30 million, I'm going to have to go get my 30 million. See, one thing about me, I get into that in a minute. Anastasio Rodriguez says, last 3 drivers I trained couldn't cut it. Some people just don't have the chops, huh? Miss Crow T. Shetty says, why you ain't got no teeth? Shout out to Miss Crow T. Shetty in the building. Black Silver Chair. Shout out to Black Silver Chair says, Anton, what if they got a broken tooth? We rocking with it, even if you got a rotten tooth. I'm cool with it. I just need to know how you got here and how did you find me. Mr. Maximus in the building says, you brave, Anton. My renters think I'm a nameless, faceless corporate, except that toothless one who was in a bind, Nate. I like to have personal relationships with the people that rent for me because then they take care of the property more. They don't look at me as just an entity, as a corporation. They know that they can call me. You know what I'm saying? Whenever something go wrong, it's easy for me to be able to work with them. And then I ain't got to deal with no property manager either. I think a lot of y'all overspend on property management companies for what it is that you do because you want to be hands off. I think that you need to start leveraging your own insight and your time and actually be able to cut costs. Sometimes it's not always good to pay people a percentage of what it is that you got coming in. Bree says, any rental properties in the DMV? No. I actually believe that people should have property or they should invest real estate in the areas that they best understand. I would advise that people in most instances invest in areas that they don't. Now, that don't mean that you shouldn't be able to invest out of town, but I know Michigan. I know Oakland County. I know Wayne County. I know Macomb County. I know the good areas. I know the bad areas. I know where it's going to appreciate. I know where they got good schools. I know where it's most walkable. I know where they building up at. I know where the millages are, where they're going to be implementing new millages in order to build up this particular part of the community. So I think that it's important for you to actually invest where it is that you understand most instead of looking for opportunities outside of where it is that you live. JC says if Detroit's Coney Island is the real one, well, it's not just one Coney Island. Coney Island is the name of the different restaurants that are open late night that serve Coney dogs, that bacon cheeseburger deluxe, those chili cheese fries, and you got to get you don't want to get the cheese, you know what I'm saying, the sliced cheese. You want to get the melty cheese. You know what I'm saying? They get the Coney dogs. Y'all don't even know what going on the Coney dogs with the onions and the mustard. You might get some chili on it. You know what I'm saying? They give you them late night fries. They get you the mozzarella sticks. You know what I'm saying? They get you that Greek salad, all of that. Yo, so Coney Island here in Michigan is a type of food based off of a certain type of restaurant that is available to the residents, all right? So if Coney Island is the real one, why did Jesus from the movie He Got Game, and his name was Jesus Shuttlesworth, shout out to Ray Allen, choose NYC Coney Island to put on Rosario Dawson? Well, if you also understand the movie, then you would also understand that Rosario Dawson was a plant. Rosario Dawson wasn't even his real girlfriend. She was there in order to operate as an agent and try to steer him into a specific school or into the league for the agents that was trying to secure his services. See, I know my movies. I am a movie buff. I'm a sports buff, basketball specifically, and I'm a movies buff. And so when Denzel Washington got out, that's why Ray Allen with his bad acting, thank God he didn't get another movie. Ray Allen was on there with his bad acting, right? Was like, see, you ain't my father. You ain't never been here. And then Denzel Washington was trying to convince him as his son so that he can get his time chopped off when he was in prison in order to try to steer him in the right direction. Rosario Dawson was finessing him. She was finessing Jesus Shuttlesworth. You know what I'm saying, JC Inc.? Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you, my friend. Shout out to you. Black Silverchair says, we need them immigrants. Nobody want to work anymore. That's a fact. That's a fact. I appreciate you. Let me see. Somebody else has some smoke for Anton from AntonDaniels.com. Let me read some more of these super chats. Hold on 1 second. I got you. They say, Anton, Lano 1017 says, Anton, your lips is black, brother. There's a difference between my lips are dark. There's a difference. See, when you get a dude with black lips, you can tell. When you get them purple lips, it's much different. My lips are natural. See that? My lips are natural. Ain't no trees ever done touch these lips because Anton stay above board. I need my $30 million. Jamal Fowler says, Anton, here's some gas money to go get your 30 M's. You know, with those $30 million, shout out to my dog Jamal Fowler. Shout out to Messy Mathematician also. You know, the thing about it is that you can't necessarily just say, hey, y'all, come and look at me. I want to get my $30 million. No, you got to get a press kit. You got to go over there and put yourself in front of people. You got to network. You got to present it to them. You got to tell them, listen, I'm the hottest show on the face of the earth. Look at my numbers. You got to give them an analytics. You got to let them break down the data. You got to see how loyal people are. So that's why I need y'all to make sure that y'all hit a like for the algorithm. That's why I need y'all to go and hit a like for the algorithm so that I can add this to my press kit and then I can go and get my $30 million. Listen, I settled for 29.5. I settled for 29.5, all right? Let me go ahead and get to the next story. We're going to finish this off like this. People are complaining. What's up, Messi? People are complaining. Right after we had the story talking about how all of these states are trying to incentivize people to go get jobs and try to participate in the workforce, people are complaining about the lack of positions. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm. Let's get it popping, y'all.
Afternoon. Unemployed since November of 2022, and we are now in August of 2023. I've been working in human.
Okay, wait a minute. Let me back up for a little bit because this woman automatically starts off by saying that she's been unemployed since November of 2022. Is that what she said? Let me see if I can rewind this a little bit. Give me a second. All right.
Job in 2023. I really hope my dad doesn't see this. I have been unemployed since November of 2022, and we are now in August of 2023. I've been working in human resources for 5 years, and I have applied to literally 1 million jobs. No matter how many jobs I apply to, getting a job feels impossible. The reality is we are in a recession right now, and while it may not feel that way to some people, it definitely feels like that with like all of the inflation, you know?
How are you unemployed for almost a year? I don't believe it. Listen, I don't believe that you can't find a job. I believe that you can't find the job that you want, that you think is ideal for you. Now, here's another question, because she keeps talking about, I keep hearing all of these people talking about how we in a recession. How are you surviving? How are you surviving going almost an entire year with no job? You've been laid off since November 2022, and you're saying that you can't find a job and you've applied everywhere. Meanwhile, I see people in jobs and opportunities everywhere. You right, Lone Goat. She want that easy HR job. You absolutely correct.
Hot take is literally just wait till things blow over. And I'm not saying be lazy, stop looking, just throw in the towel altogether. I'm saying that you can keep looking, but unless you know somebody or you're like super qualified, there is like a 9 out of 10 chance that you are not getting the job. I literally had an interview last week and they eventually got back to me and they're like, sorry, you're overqualified. What? I have never been overqualified for anything in my life. Fast forward to my dad. My dad calls me today and he goes, so this came up on my LinkedIn, head of marketing. Would that be something you can do? Oh my God. I literally go, no. I work in human resources. I literally have no corporate experience in a marketing department. I'm not even qualified for an entry-level position in marketing. He basically says like, extend yourself, just apply, you never know, la la la. I don't know if it's like an older generation thing. Part of it is like he just believes in me. The other part is I'm being lazy, maybe, to say.
And this is where accountability comes in. She called it. She called it 1,000. I didn't even have to call her out on it. I was about to stop the video in the middle of it and say, yo, no, you're just lazy. The reality is that she probably got a father that's taking care of her. She looks like she really executes on her skin routine, that everything is going well in her life. And so as a result, she is feeling too comfortable. And so she wants that easy job that she can just fit right into the role instead of adjusting, adapting, and then taking on another position where you can probably make a whole lot more money. You can expand your skill set, and you can then learn things about yourself that you didn't even know that you were capable of, that you can then apply into your future opportunities. But that's it. She just said it. She admitted it. She's very much directly telling you that she is lazy. Most people are lazy. If I had capacity today, if I wasn't sleeping some days 3, 4, 5, 6 hours a day, if I had capacity today, and as a person that does and make whatever it is that I make right now, and I didn't have no other prospects, it was nothing for me to have to work on or expand or grow, or I couldn't scale up a specific business that I was in at the time, or I was still working on building my business. Today, right now, don't think for 1 second that I am too prideful to go out and get a second job. I'm not that YouTuber. I'm not the YouTuber that, listen, I ain't got no pride whatsoever. I am the person that voluntarily came on here and told y'all, hey, listen, I just went and got another corporate position because they let me come into the opportunity and it just makes sense and it fit into my schedule. I'm not the person that's going to sit here and sell you on a thing that you wouldn't do, but I would do myself. No, listen, if I have the opportunity to get a second job, if I be out here, listen, if I show up at your door one day delivering Uber Eats or Grubhub or DoorDash, just make sure you tip me good. Let me go and get a black car and be doing Uber and Lyft. You see me pull up to your door. Hey, I got an extra day where I'm not doing nothing today. My wife is out of town. I need to make some extra money. I want to go out tonight and I don't want to spend my own money. You need a black car to go out to the airport? I got you, fam. I got some extra miles. I had a good rest last night. Don't think for 1 second that I am not the hustler. I am a hustler. I am a hustler to my heart. I believe in securing the bag by any means necessary. I am not the type of person that's going to wait for anybody to give me anything. I'm going to work. I'm always going to figure out a way. I'm always going to go get it. I'm going to figure out a way. If I got to get 2 to 3 jobs in order to make sure that we get to where we need to go, I'm going to get it. I have no pride whatsoever when it comes to working hard and getting this bag. I have no pride whatsoever on working hard and going to get to that bag. I ain't thinking about what y'all talking about. I got a family to feed. Get on out of here with that.
If you're unemployed, you've been unemployed, you've just gotten laid off, like effort is valid. And if there's a day or two where you sit and like the day goes by and you've not really felt like productive or accomplished, like don't beat yourself up because things will eventually blow over and you will eventually find a job. This is also just like a pep talk for me. So if anybody works in human resources and is hiring, hi, call me.
Never mind. Okay, we don't do those. I don't do
I have to laugh. I'm sorry. This is so
I don't do those either. See, I need to start watching these before I even get into them so I can vet these more effectively. How bad could I need to vet these more effectively.
Warn list, and employers are supposed to submit to the unemployment agency of the state and let them know that they're doing layoffs. So you can Google warn list, your state, the year, and you can get this beautiful Excel spreadsheet that you can download and filter. I've actually used this list to recruit, and you're thinking, why didn't you know your company was laying people off? And there are stipulations that a company may or may not fit in order to be required to submit to this list. So
everybody's so creative.
I hate those type of.
How that looks like we probably.
I hate it. Give me something that I can actually see where people are actually communicating in their own voice without music in the background.
Seeing it here.
So I just got laid off. The job I've been at for the past almost 4 years. And I debated posting this on the internet because I don't talk about my job on the internet. That's not what this channel is. Like, I don't even think most of you even really know what industry I'm in. But I see my TikTok page as like a scrapbook of this era of my life. And I know that I'm gonna want to keep this as like a little time capsule of like this moment, you know? And it's also really funny because the way that I reacted was so much different than what I like expected to. I expected to be like very, very upset. And yet when it was happening, I felt like an overwhelming sense of peace and like comfort. And like, I felt like this was...
Y'all got to learn how to say what you mean without saying like a whole lot of times. One of the reasons why I rewatch myself is because I know that I have a habit of saying certain things or phrases or adjectives. I love the word phenomenal, gorgeous, dope. You know, I say things on a regular basis that I need to change. And so I'm continuously working regularly on changing the way in which I communicate or communicating more effectively in order to make sure that I get my point across and be a better communicator, right? But when y'all see these, and if y'all content creators, even if you're not a content creator, start doing a video journal or a video vlog, right? And you can delete it afterwards, after a week or something like that, but rewatch yourself. You're not going to like the way that you communicate. You're going to notice certain words that you say on a regular basis that is not effective or is not needed in a conversation. You're going to learn the likes, the uhs, the does, you know what I'm saying? I remember when I first started talking on the internet, I hated the way that I talked because I used to say, you know what I'm saying, a lot. I say egregious a lot. Yeah, I say a lot of words, but I'm continuously working on that, right? And so you're not going to be perfect. I'm not saying that you're already going to get there, but a lot of people ask me, hey, Anton, how are you able to communicate so effectively? How can you vlog or stream without having any jump cuts in it? Why do you then, how can you communicate more effectively, or how can I communicate more effectively when I get into corporate America in order to be able to level up? I don't want to have to code switch all the time. Well, record yourself and then listen to yourself. And then that way you start to make an adjustment to how you communicate that would then allow for you to get to the spaces that you're supposed to be in. But if you don't put in the work, then you will never get there.
What was supposed to happen, which is really interesting because I'm like, what is coming that my body is telling me, like, don't worry, like, this is not a big deal, which is pretty exciting. I don't know. I'm kind of excited. The funny part is I don't have a laptop anymore because since I've been there for 4 years, I don't own a personal laptop. And so in the meeting while I was getting laid off, I dropped the Girls Who Cluster website because I just wasn't sure if I could do it on my phone. And so while they were laying me off, I was dropping the Girls Who Cluster website to sell the stickers. And I did notice some of you spotted I did do it 15 minutes early. If Girls Who Cluster is ever huge, I get to say the day I launched the website and our first product, I was getting laid off in the same moment that I launched the website and the first product. But anyway, I'm going to go buy myself a little treat, a little laid off treat, if you will, because even though this company didn't value the 4 years I spent there, I valued the 4 years I spent there, and I'm so proud of myself and the work that I did there. And I don't know, I think that I deserve a little treat to like mark the beginning of this new chapter.
Listen, treats are for tricks, all right? Now is not the time to be going over there and eating ice cream and feeling better about yourself. Now is the time to get into the mire. Now is the time to be getting into the mire. You don't want to start eating into your savings. You don't want to start getting comfortable. You have to get right into it. If you see something happening, if you see something starting to transition, if you get laid off, don't delay, don't wait, make the adjustment right now. Start to work on your resume, clean up your social media, update your LinkedIn, let your resume be a reflection, go and get some coaching, tap into your social network in order to make sure that ain't nobody else got a position for you. Like, now's not the time for you to start to slowing down. This ain't the time for you to start feeling good about yourself. Girl, go and get that bag. Go and get on your grind. When you get laid off or when you chilling at the crib and when you listening to the Millionaire Morning Show, some of y'all may be listening to the Millionaire Morning Show right now and you at the house. You need to be multitasking. Have me on right here on one screen or one window or on your iPad, laptop, phone, and then be working and taking care of business on the other thing. Just replace the music that you would normally listen to with the podcast that you see me executing on a Monday through Friday basis, right? So you can be taking care of business, and you need to look at working and looking and searching for a job as a job. Your job is to now find a job. That means that you're going to be spending 8 hours a day that you would have normally been spending in meetings and whatever, so on and so forth, actually refining, working on your business, looking for another position, tailoring. And when y'all apply for these jobs, let me give y'all another hint. As a person that has been a hiring manager and I interview these people and I see y'all resumes on a regular basis, let me give y'all another hint, all right? When you apply for these jobs, read the job description. Stop just mass applying, because we hate that. We can't stand you making your own thing and not even matching close to what it is that we're looking for from a description perspective. You need to hand tailor. And this is why you need to look at looking at a job or searching for a job as a job. Every position, read the description, look at whether it's hybrid, work from home, how many times you got to go in, what the education qualifications are, so on and so forth, right? See it whether or not it's something, look at the salary requirements, go to Glassdoor, see what people are saying about it, what are people making in that particular position, look at every single detail. Once you do that, you need to go through your resume, make sure it's a reflection in a general sense. Keep your LinkedIn fairly general. Don't make it really too descriptive, right? Make sure that you got your job history as far as the timelines that you worked on it. But then there are certain things that you may have done in this project that's not showing on your resume that can more closely reflect how it is that you can fit into this position better. So if the job description is saying, hey, listen, we want you to execute on this particular thing, this, or this is what we're looking for, right? You may have that skill set, but it may not necessarily be as descriptive or, apply to that particular job because you had it more general or you had it more based off of how it was that you executed as a manager or so on and so forth, right? So you need to make sure, and I say so on and so forth a lot too. So you need to make sure that you tailor your resume to the specific position that you are applying to. Then you write a cover letter. Then you want to make sure that you refine your resume to not just be a regular black and white resume. Have more than one resume. One that the recruiters are going to want to use in order to make sure that they can apply it, or they are using it as a template and then they're going to apply their own thing to it. And then another one that's more creative that helps you to stand out from all of the other packs of resumes. Follow up with a phone call. When you have an interview, make sure you read or watch the video inside of the Patreon and interview like a king, because they're going to hire you because you're personable. It's also an interview of you of them, not just them of you. Okay? So I want you guys to be a lot more careful, because it will be the difference between you getting a job or you getting it over another person, or you may get a phone call over another person. You may be able to articulate yourself more effectively than this person that has a better resume, but they may get the call and they may not even look at you just because of some details that you left out on your resumes, okay? So take this serious. Stop just looking at this as, I'm just going to mass apply and hopefully I get a position. No, you need to look at looking for a job as a job, and then you're going to execute. Make sure that you pay attention to the things that you're applying for. Write the cover letter, right? Follow up with the phone call. When you do it, stop being laissez-faire. Show a level of enthusiasm, because employers like it when you're interested in the position, and start to be a lot more fervent and effective with what it is that you're doing on a regular basis. Do your due diligence. We do all of this due diligence and we do all of this careful planning and stuff like that when it comes to content creation. You curate your Instagram profile like a mug. But when it comes to your resume and your LinkedIn, Instagram popping, LinkedIn is dead. You ain't spending half as much time on LinkedIn. You're going to go and pay for get a blue check, but you ain't going to pay for LinkedIn Premium. New rules. That's the name of this live stream. It's called New Rules. We have a different way in which we're going to approach what success looks like. Don't pay for the blue check before you pay for LinkedIn Premium. That way you get a better view and a better scope, and you reach more potential suitors for the people that are looking for your skill set. Go out, network. When you show up, make sure that you look good, smell good, get your hair cut, okay? Let me read a few of these super chats and then I'm going to get y'all up out of here, all right? Cliff is in the building, says she can come build some of these walls. I'll pay good. Shout out to you. J Dubs is in the building. I appreciate you. J Dubs says, I'm surprised she can't smell success with that little nose. With that nose. Love your show, bro. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you. LLC is in the building. LLC says, as a coder, I can say that most employees are now using algorithms to find talent. And it's a flawed system that often wrongly omits good talent who don't know how to adjust their resume accordingly. I appreciate that. That is very good advice for the people. Aaron Woe says, Monday Night Live Q show was the best episode yet. Glad y'all doing things non-ghetto like the last show. Y'all gotta join, or I'm sorry, love to join. Gotta call out on a Monday. Love y'all. Thank you, Aaron Woe 218. You had me reading that like I was slow. And the man jump over. I can actually read pretty good. Shout out to y'all. Listen, I love you guys. I appreciate you. Thank you to everybody that super chatted, everybody that hit me on Cash App. I love you guys. You have been the greatest audience ever. As we continue to trend towards trying to get that $30 million. I'm going to ask you guys to stick with me. Make sure you share this with your family and friends. Make sure that you always taking care of the people that surround you. And make sure that you tune in tonight for the Wednesday night show because it's going to be live and it's going to be popping. Thank you to Teach Henley. Again, make sure that you guys tap into the Patreon. That link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. And I need you guys to do me one more favor before we get up out of here. Make sure you share this with your family and friends. We don't want to be successful by ourselves. The link to the Discord, which is your group, your people, is in the description of any of the most recent videos inside of the Patreon. Shout out to my dog Brock with the Pass of Love offering. I appreciate you, big dog. You are much, much appreciated. I love you guys. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at y'all tomorrow. Peace. Or holler at you tonight. Anton Daniels channel. See y'all tonight. Peace.